Right, now we're going to look at removing and replacing the locking clamp. This is part number 1041. We're doing it on a Sprite, but all the latest generation adult scooters also have the same arrangement. First of all, we need to open the clamp and applying pressure to that side, because there's a spring in here, apply pressure to push it flat against the holder plate. And on the other side, this large knurled nut, we want to screw that in towards the holder plate as far as you can go and apply as much pressure as you can, making sure the clamp is fully open. As what we have to do is expose a small clip which is in here. This is called a C-clip, and you'll see why when we take it out. So you need a very small screwdriver, and it's difficult to see with a camera, but it doesn't go all the way around. There's a gap about 1/3 of the diameter wide, and that's what causes it to spring on. It's a spring steel clip. So you carefully put a screwdriver in, and you should be able to lever. There's a gap here, a gap there, and a gap there. You should be able to lever the C-clip out. It's a bit fiddly, and it's quite difficult to see, because the C-clip is black and the bit underneath it is also black. And this is where it embarrasses the engineer. Okay, we'll try. It looks like we might be able to get it a little bit more. And it's just sprung off. Well, this can happen. Anyway, it's gone now, so you get a new one with the clamp anyway. But it must come off, because if you don't take it off, you'll never get this knurled nut off, because inside here there is a rubber insert, quite a hard rubber insert, and if you try and unscrew it, the C-washer will get embedded in there and nothing will move anywhere. So that you must get the C-washer off. Now, be careful when you take this off, because there are loose components in here under a little bit of tension. So remove this, and you will find that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 components. Before we fit them back together, it's as well to make sure that this hollow bolt here, which is where the piston sits, or the plunger, make sure that's good and tight. Now, this plastic washer is concave, and it fits like so to allow a nice smooth part for the clamp lever. Now, when you assemble it, hold it against the scooter, because the lever should be pointing that way, so that when it's tightened it comes up to be flush with the side of the scooter. So we put that into there like so. Start to put it into the hole, but before you do, you take the plunger and the spring, put the small end inside there, and the flat end goes in the clamp body. Push the whole lot in, turn the scooter over and screw the knurled nut back on. So get it there as far as you can. Now you can see we've still got a little way to go here, so push that as hard as you can. If necessary, just wiggle it, because you want to get as much of this showing through to expose the groove that's in here that'll take the C-clip. The other one's decided to take a walk, so we'll put a new spring clip in. Pick it up. Magnetic screwdriver is very useful for this purpose. Get it in your fingers, and using a pair of long nose pliers, grip it in the centre as near the edge as you can without dropping it. And if you look at the clip carefully, you'll see that there are tongues there and a little prong at the back, all of which fit into this groove. So carefully position it to the groove, and so not losing it or letting it spring off. Position it and then push. Make sure it's completely home with the screwdriver. Just stick it between the clip. There we go. Now again, push that in as far as you can and unscrew, so screwing it away from the holder plate, and until it takes a little bit of pressure. Now try it with the scooter open, because in the two positions the tension can be different. Usually in the closed position it won't feel particularly tight, but in the open position it might well. Now in this particular case it's not, so close it up a little bit and push it till it takes a reasonable amount of pressure to close, and that will prevent any movement taking place here. That's how to replace the lower clamp on an aluminium scooter.